Today.
Hello, Quesnel, and welcome to Q Today. I'm Allison Duddy.
And I'm Nate Bello. This is our show for March 19th.
Good to have you back, Nate.
Yeah, it's fun to be here.
Our top stories from the Observer: new rural doctors to receive signing bonus, and a Quesnel student nabs one of ICBC's Your Ad Here awards.
And coming up later in the show, more rumblings with Ron Campbell and a conversation I had recently with Perdue of the Relay for Life team.
Okay, here at Q Today, we bring you the recent news from our partnership with the Quesnel Cariboo Observer, and we also bring you our own stories from the community. Let's get right to the news here with Nate.
All right, first thing. Well, G.R. Baker is one of 6 hospitals in Northern Health area to receive incentive funding of $100,000 to individual doctors willing to relocate for 3 years to selected rural communities. A bonus system has been set up by the government and the BC Medical Association. Specifically, G.R. Baker is funded for 1 internal medicine internist. This rural physician for BC incentive is another tool in the chest for northern development to attract and retain physicians to serve northern communities. And that was said by the Northern Health Communication Specialist, Aaron Collins. All of the communities which this incentive funding is targeted at were selected based on the degree of difficulty they had in recruiting hard-to-fill physician positions. A number of criteria were taken into consideration when selecting the communities, including the population, the number of physicians currently serving the community, the number of vacant physician positions, and the need for a particular type of specialist care, in our case, internist. The program is funded out of a $10 million rural recruitment budget agreed to in the latest fee agreement with the BCMA. Eligible doctors have received, this isn't too bad, $50,000 just for signing up, and the rest after 3 years. And this is if they continue to live in the community.
All right, thanks, Nate. So ICBC is pleased to announce the winners of its Your Ad Here contest, which asked high school students across BC to design a road safety message that will persuade their friends to recognize the risks of impaired driving, speeding, and distracted driving. Now, car crashes remain the #1 preventable killer of youth in BC, with an average of 44 youth killed and 7,300 youth injured in crashes each year. That's just,
wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. So more than 225 talented BC students in grades 8 to 12 entered the contest, and Shaylin Lightning, a grade 10 student from Coraloo, won 2nd place in the speed category. Now, we want to get students talking to each other about the dangers of speeding, impaired driving, and distracted driving, and help them make safer choices, ICBC's Director of Road Safety, John Dickinson, said. In her entry, Shaylin said, "My message to students is clear. Slow down, it could save a life. I hope students see my ad and understand that speeding is dangerous." Good for Shaylin.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I hope that something could happen to drop those numbers.
That's right.
City Council was sharpening their pencils while deciding on major projects we can afford this year. First, they looked at last year's surplus, and then they put some of that toward the needed work in 2013. So they looked at things like the capital reinvestment program, the land stability, public works building. That we've been wanting to move the public works building for years and years. It really should be moved, so they're going to put some money toward that. City Hall accelerated repayment. It'll be nice to see that move along a lot quicker. And community support, the way that they get around their ban on grants and aids. So that's what the surplus is being used at. And now here's a list of some of the public works that they are contemplating. The council gave pre-approval. This allows some of the projects to start right away before the budget is officially presented in May. So you see some things like a lot of streets are being done. That's fantastic. And one of the things that really got me is that City Hall hot water, they budgeted $15,000. I don't know if that's to get them out of hot water, but I think it's for a tank that they have to replace. And so the one thing is, what we should say about in terms of city news, Allison, Matt Wood is leaving, and he's been so positive with us.
He has.
Helped
Matt's
us
a great
out,
guy.
Yeah, and so good luck. He's going to work for UNBC.
Oh, is that what he's doing?
That's right.
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
good for Matt.
Yeah. Well, that's where our city tax dollars are going, and you can see that some of the projects benefit out of our city residents too. So I know
So
you
that's
live
a
out of the
bonus.
city. So,
I do. I always like to see that, of
yeah,
course.
my compliments.
You bet. Thanks, Nate. Well, a $10,000 contribution from the Quesnel Sunrise Rotary Club was announced on Friday. With this contribution, the Sunrise Rotary Club further enhances the multi-center fundraising efforts to build an ice arena and theater complex in downtown Quesnel. The Quesnel Sunrise Rotary Club is very pleased to support the multi-center project. We see a great benefit to everyone in the community, said President Debbie Weems. Multi-Center Fundraising Committee Chair Bernice Heinzelman commented, "Local corporate support for the project is accelerating, and that's exciting." Now, with their contribution, the Sunrise Rotary Club will purchase 40 seats, 20 in the arena and 20 in the theater. It's great to see that fundraising coming along.
Rotary Club, stepping up to the plate.
For sure.
City Councilor Lori Ann Rudenberg, Carver Sheen, Mayor Mary Schustrom and Councillor John Briscoe were on hand recently to unveil the new Billy Barker statue at Labordic Park. The statue was designed by Williams Lake muralist and designer Dwayne Davis. Sheen is a Quesnel carver who also carved the new Quesnel sign at the Quesnel Airport. Both statues were carved from each half of a 600-year-old western red cedar log. Billy weighs about 363 kilograms and took more than 200 hours to carve.
That's amazing, 200 hours.
Yeah.
He looks good though, I just saw him the other day.
Yeah, smiling, good.
All right, in looking back at the 10 two-week sessions of Men at Work, facilitators Donna Kozik and Nuala Grant, along with Victim Services Coordinator Cindy Osip and RCMP Constable Krista Vrolic, felt the program was a resounding success. Now, Men at Work was designed as a free program open to any man who felt he could benefit from help in dealing with anger issues and thus reduce family and community violence. Men who sought out resources were unable to find the help they needed outside the court system, Osip said, and she continued, while there were a number of services available for women in the community, prior to Men at Work, there were no accessible services for men in Quesnel. Now, even men who were court-ordered for anger management often waited up to 18 months for a twice-yearly program. Feedback from the participants and their partners has been very positive. And although the initial funding has been exhausted, OSIP has $5,000 thanks to the Northern Mental Health Advisory Committee, which enables Men at Work to run for 3 two-week sessions this year. And OSIP said, while we'll accept funding from just about anywhere, businesses, industry, individuals, government, we need the funding for the facilitators and some of the resources costs. Now, anyone interested in attending can call OSIP at 992-3380. Sounds like a good program.
Really good program, really needed, and trying to address an imbalance, obviously.
Exactly.
Okay, you're up.
Okay, the Canadian Forces Snowbirds will perform at Skyfest August 3rd and 4th with shows starting at noon. During their 30-minute show, which is choreographed to music, the Snowbirds perform more than 50 different formations and maneuvers. It's really fantastic if you've ever seen them before, including thrilling solo passes, graceful 9-plane formations, and exciting rolls and loops. And for more information on Skyfest, you can visit www.quesnelskyfest.ca or follow them at Facebook or Twitter.
All right, and now on to sports. The Coraloo ski team capped off a successful first year with a 2nd place finish at Provincials in Smithers recently. Team coach Scott Zacharias said it was a huge success for our first time. Scores were taken from the highest 4 skiers on the teams and aggregated to come up with a final score. This being the first year, the team is looking forward to moving ahead come next season. Next year, the plan is to expand the team, Zacharias said, and he continued, "We didn't know what to expect going into this year, but now we know, so we can help promote it and advertise it." Congratulations to all the members of the Coraloo ski team. That's fantastic for very first time out.
It's fantastic, yeah.
You bet.
In very sad Ruse news,
Oh, no.
the Koi Cup kicked off last Tuesday with the Terrace River Kings, the Quesnel Kangaroos, the Kitimat Ice Demons, the Williams Lake Stampeders. They were all vying for positions. The 5 p.m. game saw the Terrace River Kings take the win 8-1 over
Ouch.
the Ruse, and an all too familiar scenario in which the Ruse got lots and lots of penalties. In the 8 p.m. game, the Kitimat Ice Demons took the win over the Stampeders.
Yay! Sorry.
Oh, okay. and then Wednesday, the Ruse took the ice against the Ice Demons, and despite a better game, they still fell 8-3. So, not the most desirable start for the Ruse. Hopefully, they can bounce back, and we'll see what happens.
Well, Ron always says, I know we've said it a few times on QToday,
Yep.
they can't score points from the penalty box.
Right, Ron.
So when are they going to learn?
And speaking about Ron,
That's right. Ron Campbell wants us to drive safely. He's passionate about this, and it's up to us to take some of his comments seriously and drive a bit more thoughtfully. So let's take a look now at Ron's rumblings.
Hi, I'm Ron, and I have some more rumblings for QToday. If you recall, some time back, I had a tirade on turn signals. And you know what? That tirade is back. Winter is just about over. Spring is here. And you know what? Other drivers cannot read, and they do not pick up telepathy. So please, try and use your turn signals as much as possible. Remember, the bulbs won't burn out, your car won't stall, and remember, it's the big safety issue. Let other drivers out there know what you're planning on doing. So use your turn signal. Watch how much others will love it out there. Once again, you have to drive safely. Use all the tools that are provided for you on your car to ensure that safe ride back home. Because remember, the life you save just might be mine. Thanks.
Relay for Life is really getting going. We recently had an interview with Michelle Godfrey giving us an overview. Now, here I am in a conversation with Perdue on the next steps, getting your team together, along with some other relay news.
Great.
Let's view. Okay, thanks, guys. I'm here with Perdue. Hi, Kara.
Hi, Nate.
And you're the co-chair for Relay for Life Quesnel.
Yes, I am.
Okay, and it's an exciting position, isn't it?
It is. Relay for Life is, in my opinion, one of the biggest and best events that Quesnel puts on every year.
Yeah, because everybody gets involved. It's a lot of participation. It's just not watching. It's being involved and knowing you're making a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how long has Relay for Life been going?
Relay for Life, the event, has been going on for over 50 years. In Quesnel, this is our 12th annual relay.
Right, and Kathy Briggs was the first person that organized it. Was that right?
Yes, she was.
Yep. And now you're the co-chair this year along with Michelle Godfrey.
Yes, I am.
Yep. We had Michelle on just a little while ago, and she talked in general about the meaning of Relay for Life. Let's do a little recap. What's the purpose of Relay for Life? How is it? What are the funds used for, and that kind of thing?
Well, really, I think the three words that we use every year really capture the spirit of Relay, and that's celebrate, remember, and fight back. So we're celebrating the steps that have been made to reduce the mortality of cancer, give people living with cancer better quality of life, better diagnosis, giving them more services. And we remember the people who have been lost to cancer, and in that we're thinking again about how we can change the way cancer affects people so that instead we can celebrate with these people instead of only remembering them. And then the other part of that is fighting back, and that is working to reduce our own risks of cancer. And then the big part of Relay is the fundraising to raise the money to give to the Canadian Cancer Society initiatives so that we can support people with cancer, so that we can fund promising research, so that we can offer things like the Cordoban Lodge in Prince George so that people have somewhere to stay when they have to travel for cancer treatments.
Okay, so this is all very well spent money that is raised.
It is, definitely. We pride ourselves on having the vast majority of the money that we raise going towards our cancer initiatives. So We have a 15-cent cost to raise a dollar, so 85 cents of every dollar made goes directly to the Canadian Cancer Society support services and other initiatives.
Wow, that's a good ratio. So today we want to talk a little bit about the teams, because the teams had a lot of they had a lot of levity to it, and at the same time, you know, they're really positive in terms of raising funds. So. What is it? What does the team consist of, and how do you go about building a team? You know, that kind of thing.
So a team is just anyone who really wants to be involved with relay. It's usually anywhere from 7 to 15 people. We have some that are up to 20 individuals on it. Basically, you find a group of people who you get together with them and you convince them Relay for Life is a really good thing. Come on, let's go out and participate on this.
Yeah.
So you get your people together, you come up with a team name, could be something fun, could be something kind of punny, and you register either online at relaybc.ca/Quesnel2013,
Okay.
or you go into the Canadian Cancer Society Resource Centre at 332 Front Street, and our volunteers can help you get registered. So you get all your team registered together, and then you get to start fundraising.
Okay. So there's been a lot of teams in the past. I know that there's a team from Mackenzie that comes back every single year.
Yes, we have the Mackenzie Maniacs, who I'm not entirely sure how long they've been coming, but it has been quite a few years, and it's always great to see them. They usually win the cookie selling challenge that Quesnel Bakery helps us put on with the sale of the Ginger Snap cookies.
Oh yeah.
So I would challenge any teams in Quesnel this year to see if they can outsell the Mackenzie Maniacs.
Because they're maniacs.
Oh yes.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of returning teams, aren't there?
There are.
So, but you're always looking for new teams, and if you kind of already said that, you know, just to get your group involved, but it's been so successful. How many teams have you had over the last few years?
We've had over 30, over 35 every year in the past, and we're really aiming to get 40 this year. We're over halfway there with 22 teams registered.
Okay, that's great. So you want to get 40. Okay.
Yes, so if anyone out there is interested, get some people together. It doesn't actually take all that much work to register a team and to do the fundraising. So we encourage you to make a team and get registered.
So are there goals for teams in terms of how much money to raise?
Yes, there are. We're hoping that every individual could hopefully raise about $150 themselves, which is not as hard as it seems. If you pledge yourself $20, get 2 people to pledge you $50, 4 people to pledge you $25, you're well on your way to making that mark.
That's right. And you know, it's one of those things that it's a societal issue, and everybody's been touched by it. So it's not that hard to kind of ask somebody to help to eradicate it and to fight.
No, it isn't, and that's what we're hoping people will see, is that everyone's touched by cancer. And if you're not comfortable going out and just asking people for donations, lots of teams will put on events to fundraise, like hot dog sales, car washes, garage sales.
And they're happening right now, aren't they?
They are, yes.
Especially with the spring weather, people are getting out there and doing things.
So definitely keep an eye out in the Observer and the Bargain Hunter for listings of garage sales that say Relay for Life in them, because the proceeds will be going to that.
And so our goal in terms of fundraising this year?
I'm not sure the specific goal, but we're always trying to beat our last year's record. So.
And last year was around 140?
About that, yeah. So we always love to make as much as we can, because that comes directly back to the Cancer Society initiatives and the support that we can offer the people right here in our community.
But it's pretty good. I mean, Quesnel is one of those communities that really turn out for Relay for Life, don't they?
It is. We're always thrilled with how many people come out to the park, how happy and supportive people are to be there and to work with us.
Keep walking and right, that's fantastic. Okay, so you talked about other events. You are going to get the team captains together later on this month or next month?
Next month, yes. Okay. So we've decided that we're not going to hold the team captains meeting in March as we usually do.
Okay.
But we encourage anyone with questions to contact their team mentors or to contact the Relay for Life email, which is quesnelrelay@bc.cancer.ca.
Okay, we'll get those written down.
Okay. And then at the last Thursday in April, we'll be having our team captains meeting again, which we encourage everyone to attend because we'll be going over site information, tent setup, some of the last minute details for actual day of relay. And it's also a great fun event to come out, meet the other teams, meet your team mentors again, hear the answers to questions that you may not have thought of.
Yeah, okay, so I'm looking forward. You know what? We didn't say the date of the relay. Of course.
So Relay for Life is happening Saturday, May 25th in Laborde Park, starting at 10:45 a.m. and going to 11 p.m. Yeah,
it's such a nice, it is a nice ending. I know we want to focus on positive and changing, but that commemoration of the vigil at the end is very moving.
It is. The luminary ceremonies is one of my favorite parts of Relay, just the overwhelming support and emotion that you feel in the park as it's lit up by the candles.
Right. And one last question, then I'll let you go. Why did you get involved?
I got involved because I really believe in what the Canadian Cancer Society does. I've been lucky enough to not be too directly touched by cancer in my life, but I know how much that the support and the services that the society gives to people means to those people. And I really just like to be a part of that and do what I can to support those people, especially in the off chance that I or someone I know will ever need those services.
Right. Well, thank you very much for being with me. Good luck and have a wonderful day and have wonderful organizing, you and Michelle.
Thanks very much, and we hope to see everyone out at Relay.
Okay.
Okay, now it's time to see what's happening locally with our community calendar.
Well, Ellison and I just want to take a few minutes to talk about our program. This is our second season, and we've been very gratified on how well the community has taken to our show. As you know, Quesnel isn't big enough for a regular TV station, but it is big enough for a visual news magazine. We appreciate everyone who is making this program possible. First of all, without the cooperation of Shaw and station manager John McKenzie behind the camera, we wouldn't have the facilities or the technical know-how to put the show forward. But we also need you. Our organization that puts together QToday is called QMAG, or the Quesnel Media Access Group. We are dedicated to dialogue. This means, as we always say at the end of the show, Quesnel talking to Quesnel. We may not always be as slick as the big networks, but that's not the point. The point is that we believe our community can develop by listening to each other and having a vehicle to express itself visually.
That's so true, Nate. And you know, to accomplish this, we need many people to be involved. We've got a producer to coordinate the twice weekly, it's actually shown 4 times a day though, program. Writers, editors, announcers, field crews, interviewers, and sponsors. Now, speaking of sponsors, we really appreciate this season's sponsor, the Quesnel Lions Club. Now, they're not always responsible for what comes out of our mouths, but they certainly do support the idea of community development through the use of the airwaves. But to be frank here, we need your help. That's you sitting right there. We've got a great crew, but we need a few more interested and enthusiastic people, you know, to make it all the more possible to bring you a season 3 beginning next September. Now, specifically, we need more field crews, more marketing, and an editor. So if you want to be part of improving our community and can offer even an hour or 2 a week, we would welcome sitting down with you and discussing how you might join our friendly gang here at QToday. So give it some thought. You can give Nate a call at 992-3650 to chat all about it.
Okay. Well, that's it for our show today. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your story, your comments about the show, whatever you think is important, we think is important. So give us a call or an email at qtoday@qcatv.ca with your story, or ask us to cover a story you know our community would love to know more about.
That's right. And you can also watch us online on demand at qcatv.ca, thanks to our colleague Eddie D'Souza, or check us out on Facebook, Big Q, Big T, all one word. And just to let you know, Q Today will be taking a spring break, so we'll see you back on the air in April.
Okay, remember,
Q Today is about
Quinnell talking to Quinnell.
Bye for now.
I'm not looking for love, this foolish thing that's left behind. I'm not looking for love, but I hope it finds me. When will you find me? A double feature ticket to the afternoon show. What's the point of laughing? Even the lights are low. A full bag of popcorn on an empty seat in an empty row. The curtain's going up, but I think I'll go. I'm not looking for love, this foolish thing that's left behind. I'm not looking for love, but I hope it finds me. When will you find me? A table by the kitchen, well, it's the only single in the house. I brought along my favorite book. I read it aloud, 'cause one-sided conversations kept getting me kicked out. Is there anything else, dear? Now here's your bill, dear. Make room for the new round. I'm not looking for love, this foolish thing that's left behind. I'm not looking for love, but I hope it finds me. When will you find me? Love, you were hiding in the back seat. You kissed me, pulled out a map of Canada, showed it to me. Love, I'm standing by the side of the road. I couldn't go, I was too afraid to leave my home. Now I'm not looking for love. I'm not looking for love, this